Hello. Sorry, I can't help it. I can't take it anymore. I can't help it when I hear that music. Music's. Oh, look at that. I'm trying to adjust things. I'm a little late. We're starting a little late. Got the Twitter and all that going. Welcome to Coffee with Curmudgeons. It's Friday, July 21st, 2017. Your hard news, sports, and concise analysis of the news that we never get to. And I'm here with my co-host, just recently free, ladies and gentlemen, O.J. Simpson. How you doing, Juice?
I am doing well. You know, they caught me flogging the knob, and then
no.
I just anyway.
What is that?
Hello, everybody. It is a Feel Good Friday.
Well, it's a Feel Good Friday for the Juice. I guess.
I even winked there.
Yeah. I mean, it is. No, you're not.
The juice is going to be loose.
No. The juice is loose.
Yeah.
And no, you're Jason Allen.
I am. Although
Hi,
I was that close to being called Orenthal James.
Oh no. I don't know. I mean, it's Sports Friday, and so
it is.
Over in the corner.
There's typewriters.
We have our sports reporter,
our intrepid
Jay-Z.
Yes,
hey guys,
there he is.
Yeah,
hey.
All right.
Hey.
And we haven't done sports in a while.
No.
So since Jay-Z wasn't here.
That's right. We've been holding it in check.
That's right.
You know.
So we got a lot to cover, right?
Well, a lot to cover.
Right.
Everybody, right?
What people don't know, right behind the scenes, what people don't know is that Jay-Z is so territorial. Mm-hmm. He has commanded us, you will not talk sports. It's like a guy marking his territory. You won't even talk sports. I'm like, all right, I won't, man. All right.
It's impossible. We cannot do it.
Well, I can't do it.
That's right. It's just I don't know. I'm just I'm still recovering from Wednesday.
Yes.
Wednesday we had we have two shows on Wednesday. We may not have two shows. We're still trying to figure that out if we just do one or two. But we wanted to do two.
Yeah.
Because we had other issues to work out. Right?
Other issues.
Headlines are coming in.
Yes, breaking news right now.
Oh, okay.
Sean Spicer resigns as press secretary.
Ring the bell. Where's the damn bell?
Bell's right there.
Okay.
Sean Spicer is out.
He resigns.
He resigned just now.
Breaking news.
Breaking
news. Here's Sean Spicer's mom, otherwise known as the Statue of Liberty.
Spicer's mom.
I'm just trying to set it up there. Sean Spicer's mom isn't the Statue of Liberty. Sean Spicer's mom is the Crypt Keeper.
Ooh.
I don't know. Okay, so he resigned.
Yeah.
You know what? I think because didn't the Trump legal team, isn't there? Look it.
Oh gosh.
Look at the look on your face.
Oh gosh.
The Trump legal team is there's some resignations and things happening there too, right?
There is one got replaced or benched. Mm-hmm. It also leaked out last night that Trump was asking his lawyers if it's constitutionally possible. Real story, folks, not making this up.
Not fake news.
Yep, not fake news.
Fake news.
He actually asked if it was constitutionally and legally acceptable to pardon himself. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Doesn't he want to fire Mueller, the
he does, yeah.
prosecutor? Everyone's just nodding their head.
He wants to fire Mueller. Yeah.
And that's you can't do that. I guess the Attorney General is the Attorney General is the only person who can fire the special prosecutor.
And he wants Sessions to leave too.
Right? No, Sessions. So he can't. So the Attorney General is the only one that can get rid of the federal prosecutor, and that would be the Attorney General, which would be Jeff the Cracker Sessions.
The Cracker.
I'm not a big Jeff Sessions fan here, folks.
No.
Bad for America. But he recused himself, so he can't do it. So it's the Deputy Attorney General,
Dana Rosenstein.
Rosenfeld. I don't know. Roosevelt.
Something like that. I think it's like Rosenstein. Dana Rosenstein? That's on.
The Deputy Attorney General, let's look it up, is... Oh, sure. Just bring up his name, please.
Oh, yeah.
Rosenstein, you were correct. Rod J. Rosenstein. Okay.
Yes.
So he is the Deputy Attorney General, and he's the one who could excuse Mueller, but he's already said, is it on the press or in front of Congress or both? I don't know. But he said publicly, unless there's a...
Yeah.
Unless Mueller walks in one day and go, hey, I forgot my pants. Look at, hey. I mean, unless he does something like that.
With the little figure, when he shakes the hand, the little buzzer.
Little Rip Taylor. It's like,
confetti, right?
Confetti everywhere.
Hello!
Exactly. He's lost his marbles. I guess we'll fire him, right? Which isn't going to happen because Robert Mueller's not the kind of guy who's going to show up to Congress not wearing pants and shooting confetti at Al Franken. No, not going to happen.
Oh, but we can dream, can't we?
Please. Could you please make that happen? Because that's in my mind, that's how the government works.
That is a special prosecutor right there.
Yeah.
Yes.
For me, the government is one big like Monty Python skit or something like that.
You with the Benny Hill music.
Where people appear in front of Congress and Franken goes, "Do you have a shrubbery?"
That's right. Like spam, baked beans and spam.
I was gonna make an unfortunate joke at someone's expense. John McCain.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Too soon.
Too soon. So anyway, so that's not gonna happen. That's not going to happen, and so that's going to keep going, and they're phoning up the people about the Donald J. Trump Jr. Talking to Russians and stuff like that. So Mueller, they confirm that he's like, checking into that along with everything else. So it's one big crap show, and
it's a whirlpool of
ergo. As they say,
ergo
on the Isle of Greece.
Mm-hmm.
Ergo, Aristotle, Sean Spicer has
he's
resigned.
Yep.
I'm gonna miss him because he totally ruined Saturday Night Live now. Sean Spicer.
Nobody, and I repeat, nobody can hide in the bushes from the reporters better than Sean Spicer.
And now we don't get Melissa McCarthy doing Sean Spicer.
Oh, but they're going to pull him. They're going to do it just to...
But the other gal, the one I really, really like, who's a regular on Saturday Night Live, that I can't remember her name right now. She does Jeff Sessions, and it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
She's real. Kate McKinnon. That's Kate McKinnon. Kate McKinnon. She does a Jeff Sessions that's as good as Melissa McCarthy's Sean Spicer.
She does a lot of people, Kate McKinnon.
Oh, she's brilliant. Brilliant. I think she's funny.
Yeah.
And all of that.
Oh, yeah.
Lovely lady.
She's got Sessions down cold, man.
Yeah. So I guess my question is, and we have to get to sports, but my question for you, Jason, is when does so you alluded to the fact that there was another interview with the president. And he said, had he known that Jeff Sessions would have been recused himself from the Russian probe, he would not have hired him.
That's correct.
As Attorney General.
Yeah, he sat down with for an interview with 3 reporters from the New York Times.
Wow, and that's something.
That is something.
Because that's fake news.
And what's even more astonishing, word leaked out. The only person that was in there for Trump's team, and this is astonishing.
When was this? Was this week?
Yes, this last week came out. Yeah.
That's so weird that he'd do that with the New York Times, and it's not like Hannity.
And no one briefed him before it. Nobody. He was in there just with one person of his staff, and he didn't even because you got to know that there's 3 guys from the New York Times. They're going to talk about Russia. That's all they're going to talk about, right? He didn't even talk it over with his lawyers beforehand. beforehand so they could brief him on what to say, maybe stay away from some stuff. Oh no, he just let it all out there.
The New York Times is the political equivalent of Jan from the Brady's, right? Russia, Russia, Russia. Always about Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Oh yeah, Marsh is most definitely the Washington Post. Because they got the whole legend and the past of Woodward and Bernstein and Washington Post, so they get this Marcia stuff. Well,
supposedly there's a document that because the Washington Post is owned by Amazon.com, otherwise known as Jeff Bezos.
Yes.
And supposedly there's a big document that says you will not offend the shareholders or the advertisers or anyone else that messes with our business, which, of course people are like, well, that doesn't make you all that independent now, does it, y'all?
Right, y'all.
But that's exactly what happens in that kind of press. You have advertisers, you have people, but... Okay, so my thing is, as to be fair.
Mm-hmm. Okay, because we are fair and balanced.
That's right. To be fair and balanced.
We report, you decide.
I have never been a Jeff Sessions fan.
Yeah, me neither.
He's in Congress, representing Alabama. And I know people have branded him all sorts of names. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is when he was announced as Attorney General, the first thing I thought of out here in the western states, great state of Oregon, Washington, California, Colorado,
hoo-ha.
There comes Jeff Sessions taking away your little pot bags.
That's right. Well, you see,
not cool.
I knew
the people of the states have spoken.
Right. I knew something was suspect when he was at his confirmation hearing.
Yeah.
He sat down wearing his KKK hood.
Yeah. See, you're doing it. You're doing it. And maybe I see. Not even that. I just he's way too conservative. Way too in the way of government should stay out of your business unless we want to get in your business.
Yeah.
If you're doing stuff that doesn't jive with my Southern Christian upbringing,
my heritage, which is weird too, right?
Who you're hanging out with in your private life, or what you may be putting in your coffee.
Well,
in your brownies,
or in your granola bars. Who knows?
Yeah.
But what I find really interesting is your
people have spoken.
People have spoken.
People have spoken.
And it's funny, for a guy that goes running around yelling for state rights, right? State rights. So yet he's taking away the pot from the people.
That's always...
Pot for the people.
That's always the thing, Jason.
Yeah.
That's always the thing. And here's let me just say this.
Yeah.
I'm not an imbiber.
Not an imbiber.
I'm not an imbiber.
The world wants to know right now, Doc. The world wants to know, did you inhale?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I plead under the Fifth Amendment, Senator.
We're grilling Jay-Z.
No, we're not grilling.
It's Inquisition here. That's
not Inquisition. You cannot invoke the office of the doctrine of the faith anymore, Jason.
I'm sorry. I'm a Catholic. I got overzealous there for a second.
Unless you want to get out your ecstasy, put on some EDM, and have some sexy party.
I'm not saying it couldn't happen.
Oh, I know, right? I'm an open-minded guy in 2017. Who knows?
That's
hey. There, Cardinal, are you holding?
You holding?
Let's have an all-night party.
That's the title of this episode. Are you holding? Are you holding?
Yeah, I like you in a collar and nothing else.
Pockets full of Molly.
Man. Yeah. Woo! I'm telling you, the best parties are at the Vatican. Just look at the story. You can look at this. Is a well-reported story.
Oh yeah.
Not one that Pope Francis is keen to talk about. He's just like, this is Pope Francis every day.
Right.
Oh God.
Because he's a tired guy. He's got a full schedule, so he conks out early.
So the last thing he needs is the office of the doctrine of the faith, giving wild, ecstasy-infused EDM sex parties in the Vatican. But that's what he's doing.
I always get the feeling that they're always staring out their windows at night. They're waiting for his bedlight lamp to go out. It's like, all right, he's asleep. We can party. And the next thing you know, stuff's going on.
So anyway, yes, I'm not really an imbiber, but I grew up with the Dragnet and the Joe Friday.
Sure.
Pretty high and far out there, aren't you, hippie? But I did the research as an adult.
Yes,
and,
sir.
I have some funny stories about that. We'll talk about those on Monday, not on a Friday.
Ooh, yeah, okay. Yes, sir.
Anyway, but I one time I remember I was downtown Portland.
Okay.
And I was handed a petition by a young person.
Yeah.
And it was, would you sign this?
Yeah.
To legalize marijuana, decriminalize it, not make it,
yes,
a criminal offense. And I looked at him, and I looked at the paper, and I looked at him. This was several years ago when they were passing out the initiative on the ballot. Because in Oregon, we have great democracy. You can go out there, Jason and I could go out there with clipboards.
Ooh, and we do.
Write something up.
We do.
Put signatures, get enough signatures, and we can submit it to the ballot of the people of the state of Oregon. If that's not democracy, I don't know what is.
I don't exactly.
I love my initiative process here in the state of Oregon. Should be in all 50 states. Not all states have it.
Right.
But anyway, so he handed me this thing, and I looked at it, and I looked at the blank spot to sign, and I looked at him, and I thought about it for a brief second, and I signed it. I said, yes, this should not be criminalized. If alcohol is legal, if nicotine is legal, if coffee is legal, I think we can do this. And,
sure.
And the argument against was always think of the children, and all that. But you know what? We can think of the children. We can make that happen and make it work. And so I was always for. I'm kind of a libertarian, socially, or I don't know. I don't even think. See, because a liberal, I don't think progressive and liberal. But that's kind of where I stand. Folks, I hate to say it. I and people will not like me for this, but some of my. I think we live in a violent society, but I also think we have the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
And I'm a vegan. I don't believe in hunting or anything at this point, But again, we have a Second Amendment.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm more power to the people, less power to the government, which was basically how those guys were trying to write that stuff up back then in Philly. If you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I kind of think that was their thing.
Yeah.
They were kind of like, we need a government that represents the people so we can do stuff and live free and make money, make our businesses, smoke a little
reefer,
little something in the
eat a little brownies,
in the clay pipe.
Yeah. Put that in your corn cob pipe and smoke it. That's right.
And have a musket and America. Yeah, right there.
America.
So anyway, and then a guy like Jeff Sessions comes along, and I know I've followed. These guys aren't new to me. I followed these guys. I follow their congressional career, especially the guys I don't like. I like to follow them a little closer.
Right, you got to keep your eyes on them.
And he's one of those guys who, he wants to go in your bedroom and tell you who you should be with there or not with.
Yes.
Again, America. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, as soon as you hear the name.
Does not matter.
As soon as you hear the name, because you can't even say his full name without a southern accent.
What does the government care?
Jefferson Beauregard Sessions.
So I really was not on top of him being a attorney general. So would like to see that go away soon. But of course, as soon as you say, then someone leaves.
Yeah.
Then someone steps in.
Yeah.
And they're twice as bad.
Yeah.
That's always the typical thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you didn't like Darth Vader? Meet the Emperor.
Right.
Darth's got a lightsaber. Emperor's got lightning coming out of his hands.
You kicked out the throne, so let's bring in the guy, the power behind the throne. Right. Yes. Hey.
But anyway, so that's what's happening in politics.
Yeah.
So Sean Spicer. So maybe
spicy.
And then and again, he doesn't have the support of the president. So go fire him.
Right.
Fire him. Don. You're fired. You're fired.
You're fired.
And it's Rosenstein guy. I don't know. He's probably conservative or anything, but at least At least he's going out there going, hey, I'm not firing the special prosecutor. I'm not doing the political stuff. I'm upholding the law. So at least maybe, he would be in the attorney general, and it would be a little bit better.
Yeah, Trump even slammed Rosenstein during the New York Times story.
Well,
and they asked him, what about Rosenstein? He was like, well, this is his rationale. He's from Baltimore.
From Baltimore?
Yeah, he doesn't like anyone that comes from Baltimore. Yeah. It's like
from Baltimore.
Yeah, it's just that. There you go. There it is. Reddit.
Sean Spicer, White House press secretary, resigns. Yeah, well,
Yes.
From Baltimore. Why would it?
From Baltimore. There's no very.
A little note. Washington D.C.
Yeah.
Baltimore.
Maryland.
Kind of down the street-ish.
Yeah, no. He said that he didn't think
Baltimore.
there ain't no Republicans from Baltimore. I don't trust them.
Oh yeah. But anyway, I like. I was in Baltimore once.
Yeah?
Well, yeah, I was going to do a thing, and I don't know where we were doing the thing, but I stayed in like a hotel, Baltimore, Maryland. It's like, I'm in Baltimore, Maryland. It was in the January or February. There was a little snow or ice on the ground.
Yeah.
And it was back then, it was homicide, life on the streets. That was pretty much Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
That was Baltimore. I don't know. I think it's gotten better now.
Well, it's still pretty sketchy. Believe it or not,
Yeah.
Somebody I went to high school with, he is now a homicide detective in Baltimore, Maryland.
Dude!
He's the Wire, dude. He's the guy that's out there.
Is the Wire there, too?
Baltimore, yeah.
Oh, wow. See, and I know, again, people, you should watch The Wire. The Wire is very good. It's like one of those shows I didn't get around to watching.
So many shows.
I know that the people I know who like The Wire say it's excellent, so I have no reason to believe it's not. Mm-hmm. But I was a big homicide, life on the streets fan.
Right.
That's where Belzer got his start, and all those guys, and whew, man, that was good. Yaphet Kotto.
He was my favorite.
Yeah, as a chief.
He was my favorite because he's always coming down hard on people.
Oh yeah,
screaming.
Well, if you have a chief in a cop show, how does it go? Alan, get in here! In the office now!
Yes, sir.
Alan!
Yeah?
Are you working on the Smithy case? I need close up. Are you working on the Smithy case? Answer the question, Alan!
Yes, sir.
Sergeant Allen, do you want to be beat cop, Alan?
But, sir, regulations
Shut
be
up,
damned.
Alan!
Sorry.
I want you and your partner to get down and interview the victim again.
Interview check.
The DA's ready to walk this lady, walk the perp. What are you doing?
Well, we're trying to...
Shut up!
Check.
Alan, get out on the street and get this case solved.
Yes, sir.
Now go!
Yes, sir.
Close the door behind you!
Yes, sir.
That's a scene out of every cop drama, right? Thank you. Oh, that's me. We need to...
There you go.
Jay-Z's not clapping.
Milwaukee Repertory Theater proudly presents...
Exactly. Homicide, Life in the Streets by Doc Normal and Jason Allen.
God,
but isn't that every cop show?
It is.
Come on. You always have to have... And they have the door and the desk, and it's like...
and the potted plant in the corner that's wilting, right?
Old.
Yes.
Oh, you know what is good?
Yeah.
Is when... the guy comes in to get yelled at by the captain, and the captain's spraying the plant, doing something kind of mellow and less violent, and then puts it down and turns around and just starts screaming at him.
Yes.
You messed up the case, Alan! The DA said the perp's gonna walk! What are you doing?
Lulls them into this false sense of security, right? Like, hey, come on in, Alan. Sit down. How you doing today?
Yeah.
How's work going? Oh, fine, Captain.
Yeah, fine, Cap.
Is it really fine, Detective Allen? Because next thing you know, there's shoes being thrown, there's books being thrown.
Get back out there and solve this case!
Right, someone's getting baton.
All right, Cap. And then you go, goes the partner to go out to the detective cars. Oh man, the cap just yelled at me, man. We gotta figure this one out.
Right. They don't call my name. He's either the captain or Skipper. Skipper's down my throat this morning.
Exactly.
He's on fire. He's hot.
It's on the Smithy case. I don't know.
It's hot.
I got a new lead. You do? Well, let's go.
Right.
And it's always pieces of paper with the phone numbers on it.
Right.
Down and addresses. You know,
we got to just get him in that
that's
conference room.
Every cop drama, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's perfect. It's like the formula of a cop drama.
Yes.
It's just like, and I love that. And the only captain that never yelled at his people like that was Barney Miller.
Oh, of course.
Barney Miller was always like, he was like the psychologist, like, Wojo, come sit down.
How are we feeling?
Yeah. Wojo, are you dating a prostitute?
Yeah, sir.
Well, you've seen, but you were a Barney Miller fan.
Oh,
right?
I love Barney Miller.
That was a plot line.
Well,
right?
yeah,
Wojo was sort of hanging out with the ladies they kept arresting.
He was trying to reform her. The Wojo Howitz with the heart of gold. You know, he's trying to do his thing.
Right.
But the skipper, he's not having any of it. You know, think about the department.
But think about it. Barney was never did the Yaphet Kotto, the yelling. But it was a comedy.
Well, remember, he was put in his place though by his superior. Remember the kindly
crusty,
old guy would come in and he would tell these sort of
from 1930.
Yeah, because Barney,
when we busted Capone,
you
gotta have that guy. Right?
Oh yeah, because Barney, he's in his little office and his face is beet red. He's about ready to go ballistic. But in comes the colonel, whatever his name is.
He would always tell
the commissioner, and he's just
He'd always tell Barney that he wasn't running a tight enough ship.
Right.
Meaning he wasn't yelling at his people. So.
Barney, you may want to take a little tougher hand with your staff.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Barney
Miller. I love Barney Miller, dude.
So when I was in Baltimore,
spending
the night, and then I was going to a media training thing the next day, and not a happy thing, but a trooper had basically done a roadside stop and got gunned down right there, Baltimore. And it was like breaking news, and you're like, wow, I must be in Baltimore now.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a big deal to us. To them, it's just another Monday.
Yeah. It was kind of. I mean, I was like thinking, wow, this place is kind of like you're homicide in the streets.
You're not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah, well, not in Portland. But anyway, I don't know. That was a thing. But Jeff Sessions, I'd like to see him not be the Attorney General. And he, when he was asked about the states and the states' rights on things like holding the bag, he was like, no, he's not down with it. Some states, as in Oregon, have a death with dignity thing.
No, not down with that either.
Some state, now in the United States, you can marry who you want, who you
Marriage
love.
Equality, yes.
And I don't think
he's not down with that either.
He's down with that either. So there's 3 strikes on my little checkbox there that
we can't even get the guy to say the Civil War. He still refers to it as the War of Northern Aggression.
Really?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Jefferson
Beauregard Sessions.
Anyway, so I don't know. So we're trashing on him, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then we made fun of John McCain several weeks back when he did that weird, he did that weird questioning of Comey.
Yeah.
Which was weird. I mean, people were laughing in the chamber when he was doing it, and we were wondering he'd put a few tall ones back. And he said he was up late watching the baseball game or whatever.
He's a little out of sorts. He at the time, I kind of thought of him as he's the kindly grandpa.
How old is he again?
80.
80. Okay. Well, that's by today's standards.
No.
Well, let's just say by John McCain today's standards, 80 years old, is in fine health with that wonderful senatorial health care coverage that they get.
Yeah, he's a pop.
Otherwise known as the best health care in the great nation of ours.
That's right.
And it is the best health care you can get. If you can get that, if you can get on the Senate health care plan, you're living to 120, man.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Easily. In fact,
they were embalming Strom Thurmond before he passed.
Right.
He was literally, a Disney puppet. And I'm sorry. Anyway.
Yeah, there are serious rumors out there.
I really don't like people.
There's word on the street that their healthcare plan has gotten so advanced that literally the senators, they're not going to die anymore. They're just going to become cyborgs.
That's right. I believe that.
You know?
I believe that. So anyway, McCain's in the hospital. He had a clot, and they found a tumor, so he's got the cancer and all that. And so it's kind of like, oh, well, maybe this explains some of his performance there on the Senate floor, right? Maybe. So
I think so.
I have a tough time with John McCain. I really do. No, I really do.
Yeah.
I have a tough time. I have been hot and cold on John McCain in his career. In his Senate career. And again, I follow these guys in the Senate. You should always follow the senators. I mean, representatives, you should follow them too, but there's a lot more of them. But the senators and all that, I mean, these people really, I mean, there's, they have the power strings, power, just like the president. Not just the president, it's these guys.
Yep.
And ladies. And so I've been hot and cold on him over the years. He's got that war hero thing. He was Vietnam. He in his early career he was a pilot. Mm-hmm. He was in a plane, and there's film of it on an aircraft carrier where the aircraft carrier caught fire. Mm-hmm. Famous. I can't remember. Is it Forstall or I can't remember the name. People know, but anyway, you can look it up. And he's actually in that. In fact, I think he got injured and burned, and then later he gets shot down. Was it?
Yep.
And was taken prisoner of war.
Hanoi
Hilton.
Yeah.
And so went through all that. So I mean, those are all things that we're like, we're like, wow, that's. The guy did his service and endured a lot, and there's nothing bad. I mean, war is bad, but there's nothing bad to say what he endured. That's definitely he got one of those "thank you for your service" type responses, right, from us folks, from Americans. Yeah. Then he becomes, political, a senator, and he's done back and forth things. Of course, he was part of the Keating group, if you remember, it was that savings and loan scandal. What was it? But he's done things. He's been a moderate from times to time, and so I've been thumbs up on that. I like my moderate politicians, whether they're Republicans or Democrats, especially Republicans.
Yeah, one of those few guys that would actually cross the aisle to. He did his thing. They called him the Maverick, right? Because he'll do his own thing, and
Maverick,
sometimes
get in here,
right? That's why in the Senate they call me Goose.
Dangers, So I like my Democrats liberal, and I like my Republicans moderate. And so I like all that about McCain.
Yeah.
And then he ran for president, and I don't know. He's had some goofy.
Yeah,
he crossed the line a few times. Like, oh, come on, John, And then he got into it with the president, which was, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I think on balance, you need that balance in politics. Mm-hmm. But of course, our president doesn't see it that way. No. Anyone?
It's hard to. I don't know. It's hard to peg McCain down because on one hand, you're like. War hero, but he'll work across the aisle. But then he picks Sarah Palin to be his.
Here's my recent. Here's my recent huge issue with John McCain, which is why I've been down on John McCain. Yeah, he's a hawk. He's a neocon. He's a hawk. He's all, and he wasn't years ago. He was actually moderate about that because, and sometimes you always say like Colin Powell and people like that. If you have someone who was in the military, who actually served, who went through it, they're they actually make better politicians because they've been through the crap. Yep. They know what war is. Yeah. And as opposed to like a civilian who's never served and goes, hey, well, maybe we should bomb this or whatever. It's like the military people are like, hang on a second. There's consequences here. Yep. There's lives that will be lost, conflicts to be resolved. Colin Powell was a good example of that kind of a person in
Cautious.
general. Cautious. And I like my Republicans moderate. I like my Democrats liberal, and I like my generals cautious.
Yeah. Well,
I do. I mean, that for me is a formula for success.
I agree. And
right?
Yeah. And if you're McCain and you've seen the elephant and you've seen the horrors of war firsthand, I mean, usually those are the guys that are a little like, again, cautious about sending our American youth into harm's way.
Right, you're sending young people to die when you get into conflict and war.
Yeah.
And not to mention the people you're going to war at.
Yeah.
And we tend to forget now in the 21st century that those are people's homes you're going into.
Yeah.
To fight, and they put this nice little thing called, well, it's not nice, it's called collateral damage, which means innocent people who are not fighting the war getting killed, children, the women and children dying in the conflict. It's not a good look for any country, certainly not a good look for America.
I think one of the things that American people don't think about much, the rank and file American, is the fact that they read in textbooks, about the big battlefields and these battles, and the battlefields in that went out after the Civil War. People are now fighting in streets and homes, bombing.
It's and we don't.
Civilian.
I'm one of those people who gets cranky thinking about that we don't really have an official body count for the Iraq War.
No.
And we're talking about how many Iraqi civilians died in that war. And if you say you don't care, then, wow, I don't care if this fist meets your face either, folks. I mean, that was a kind of a violent reaction, but you know what I know. Thanks, Doc, What is my problem? But
that's why I like doing that's why I like going shopping with you.
Yeah.
Because you'll go down the aisle and say, "What? No broccoli?" and you'll just punch somebody.
How'd you know? I mean,
we got cameras,
one of
dude.
my favorite.
Jay-Z's got it wired, dude. He's got cameras everywhere, dude.
He does. But my point is,
I hear you.
And like you said, cautious.
Yeah.
You better be committed and be committed to getting in there and getting this thing done and getting out, right? Not a quagmire or whatever. So so McCain has been. He's kind of been that moderate.
The voice of reason. If you're going to do this, make sure that it's a righteous cause.
Right. Yeah. But as of late, as of the last 10 years or more, he has not seemed so much that way. He's been one of the main fist pounders about Russia and Putin and all this stuff and the thing is folks they have the nukes too. So I mean we have no choice but to deal with Russia. I mean as far as and Putin really. It's not so much the Russian people. If you ever meet Russian people, they're actually fine people. They'll sell you a broken car, but they're fine people. Of course, the car works.
Oh, that reminds me.
Turned on last week. Don't worry about it.
That reminds me.
Don't worry. Be
happy.
I'm sorry, Russian people. I love you.
That reminds me, though.
I like to make...
folks, ladies and gentlemen, this hour is sponsored by Vlad's Auto Wholesale.
Oh, my gosh.
Sorry.
I didn't save the thing. I was supposed to save the thing.
Don't worry. Be happy.
Be happy. But watch the last show. Get that reference.
Yeah.
But anyway, Russian people, lots of people, interesting culture. Remember, even when they were the commies, they were our allies. As in
Uncle Joe,
World War II.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's when Uncle Joe was running that thing. And you think Putin was bad? Joe Stalin,
right,
makes Putin look like the lady on Romper Room,
right?
Captain Crunch.
Romper Room. Oh, you get an extra for that.
Yeah. Putin Putin is Captain Crunch next to Joe Stalin's
Yeah.
Vlad the Impaler.
He's Mahatma Gandhi
Oh my
next
gosh.
to Joe's Uncle Joe.
Yeah. Joe made Hitler go, whoa.
Yeah.
When you rock, dude.
When
Whoa.
you out Hitler,
Yeah.
you know, like, oh, yeah.
Those purges and programs. Oh, Moses.
20 million dead? No problem.
Oh, jeez.
You know?
I mean, we joke, and we shouldn't joke.
Yeah.
Too soon?
Too soon.
Too soon after the Stalin purges that killed and massacred so many people. Mostly Jews.
Yeah,
too.
8 million.
A lot of, yeah.
We'll get around
Russian
to
Holocaust.
We'll get around to the Khmer Rouge next week.
Oh, God. Thanks. This week in...
Well, Jeff Sessions, he wanted to ban anything having to do with Pol Pot because it had the word pot in it.
Oh, there you go.
It's just... Anyway.
That's right. We'll take it on face value.
Right.
Thank you, Mika.
You're welcome, Joe.
Oh, I'm horrible. You got a handy for me under the no? Oh, jeez, man! It's really a feel good Friday, isn't it?
Evidently, it's a reach around Friday now.
Speaking of which, I'm drinking a new coffee.
Yeah.
Today.
Why, Doc?
It's not the Trader Joe's.
What are you drinking?
I'd have to look up the name of it. It's out of Texas. It's a special brew with Chinese herbs.
Ooh.
And they're going to be a sponsor. So I just want to say thank you to our new coffee sponsor. This is a coffee that will wake you up and give you an erection under the desk.
Yes. Who can't help?
Okay, guys. Yeah. And of course it didn't get saved. I sent it to you. Oh, okay. The FDA. Mm-hmm. The FDA. Mm-hmm. I have to pull up Jason Allen's. Mm-hmm. Because I did send it to you.
Yes, you did.
AKA as in, we should talk about this.
Wow. That is a brisk, bracing, stiff coffee.
It is a very stiff coffee. Let me just put it up here. I know. It's Friday. Everyone's like going, oh, we're talking about this. Are we talking about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about this. Here's the headline in the Washington Post. Coffee with Viagra-like ingredient recalled after FDA discovery. Albert Yee said the coffee is everywhere you look in the densely packed vendor stalls along avenues in Malaysian cities. An instant mix with a natural ingredient similar to what's found in Viagra that helps men with ED. And Yee wanted a piece of the action. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to look for the... so the FDA... in quotes, there are whole streets of it like tequila in Mexico. So basically, this is like an instant coffee brew, Jason.
Road trip to Tijuana.
With additives, with the herbal additives. This is desmethyl carbendenafil. That's the substance, which is structurally similar to sildenafil, which is the ingredient in Viagra. So desmethyl carbendenafil, which is similar to sildenafil.
Yeah.
I can never say these words in the morning.
Hey, Jay-Z, get the van ready. We are southbound and down.
Oh, my gosh. So the FDA recalled this because it was a ingredient that was not in there. I don't know. I would just tell the FDA it was a coffee with a happy ending.
Yeah.
Bing, bing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, okay, we got to do that again. Ready? There you go. Say the line.
If you'd like a coffee with a happy ending, ask for it by name.
Wow.
Well, that should be what the coffee should be called. Happy endings.
Here we go. Let's do a commercial right now. Wow, this coffee sure rang my bell.
Funny, this doesn't taste like the coffee Marge makes me. As he's like in the 1960s apartment suite of his mistress. It's like Shirley MacLaine bringing the coffee out or whatever.
Don Draper.
Yes, exactly.
He's drinking his coffee like good to the last drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the ingredient can cause low blood pressure. You know, it has some side effects. You know, if you take heart medication, your ticker, it interacts with nitrate traits, I guess. And so anyway, but so they were pulling that off the market, and I'm like, wow.
They're always pulling the cool stuff off the market before I can get to it.
Nothing just like being amazingly awake in more ways than one.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
In fact, I'll have you know that they were thinking about calling that coffee Morning Wood.
Yeah,
I'm just throwing it out there
with extra chicory.
Chicory. Oh,
when they put that in coffee?
They did, yeah.
Chicory. Why the hell is like you gotta eat? They're always trying stuff on people, like making coffee with chicory, or in the 21st century, making people eat bugs. Yeah. Oh, have some crickets. It's good for you. No, it's not.
Having crickets.
Morons.
It's chock full of protein.
While the senators eat steak, you eat bugs.
Right.
They have chicory instead of coffee. But anyway,
chicory. Yeah.
It also had a little milk in it, like powdered milk, which was not listed, so it wasn't vegan.
Oh.
Yeah. So it had powdered, and that wasn't listed. So you got to list the ingredients, the FDA.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of weird stuff. This is something that's been in my mind because I've been doing reading. Have you read this one? That again, the FDA is on top of this. Well, they're not on top of it, but they're trying to figure out what to do about this.
Yeah.
It's chocolate. Chocolate, and it's like kids eat chocolate. People like chocolate. Sniffing chocolate,
like snuff,
like cocaine.
Oh
and
my gosh.
they're like the FDA. They're like, is this safe to sniff chocolate? I mean, like powdered, like a little. Hey, we're gonna do a couple lines of malto meal.
Holy cow! You're crunching up Whoppers just to do lines.
Yeah, we're gonna do some lines of Swiss Miss.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, Nestle's quick. That's what they're doing. It's this sniffing chocolate, which I know, right? Jay-Z. Thank you, Jay-Z, for shaking your head.
Right. What's next, though? I mean, people are going to start freebasing fudge?
Well, exactly.
I mean, where does it stop? This is a slippery slope, folks.
Exactly. I mean,
Jay-Z, you ever snorted any cocoa?
Say that carefully.
No wonder the go. No wonder the bunny on that Nesquik is all freaking out and
I know, right?
Answers questions.
Why would you sniff? Why would you? It makes no sense to me.
Do you guys remember the cinnamon challenge?
Oh, that's right. They were sniffing the cinnamon, right?
I think so.
Oh yeah.
What happened with that? Does that do bad? Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Okay.
Your nose is there to breathe, okay?
Yeah.
The air.
Yeah.
It's to get
primary
oxygen
function,
in your lungs.
Yeah.
So you can live and survive. So that the oxygen goes into your bloodstream, sends oxygen out to your tissues. Most important tissue is your brain. Because without the oxygen going to your brain, you die within minutes.
Yeah.
Within minutes. Okay? And so you want to snort a cocoa, a cinnamon.
Yeah, apparently the cinnamon challenge is you just filming yourself eating a spoonful of cinnamon without drinking anything for 60 seconds.
Oh, okay.
It's so fine powdered.
You're not putting it up as snuff. The whole concept of snuff always freaked me out. And it does a bad thing. Like the snuff is tobacco, right?
Yeah.
And it does, it starts to burn out your nostrils and things like that. I mean, the effects of cocaine are well documented.
Right.
What that does to your nose. They have actual surgery to repair the tissues.
Eats out the cartilage. And
oh, yeah, that's just lovely, isn't it?
Yep.
So now you walk into a kindergarten and everyone's got straws and a silver plate and with cocoa on it.
Hershey wrappers and straws. The next thing you know, they're trying to. Oh gosh, kid, don't be doing nails before recess.
I mean, your kid's walking in from Christmas party going.
Right.
It's like, what the hell is this? Miami Vice?
Yeah, they're
Come on.
reenacting big. What's that? What was that one book and movie? Bright Lights, Big City.
Oh yeah.
They're like reenacting that. Next thing you know, like I said, they're freebasing fudge. I'm not even going to talk about what they're doing with almond roca.
Yeah, there was something else about that too. There was another thing, crazy thing like that, like the sniffing the cocoa. There was some other thing, and and there's this whole vaping thing that's going on too. And here's the thing. Yeah, and they were like, well, it's so much better than smoking. Okay, sure, if you say so.
Sure.
But you look stupid doing it.
Right.
Just as stupid as you look with a cigarette, you look stupid with a vaporizer.
Yeah, you want
There's more vapor around. You're like walking around like Pigpen in a smoke pile.
Right.
I don't know.
You want to impress me.
I told you I'd ruin this Feel Good Friday.
Right. You want to impress me. You're going to get on that damn hookah, and you're going to do it now.
Yeah, no.
Right?
No.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So you got the Feel Good Friday. I got the Fury Friday.
Ooh, Fury Friday.
Fury Friday. But no, so I don't know what the deal is. I just read
another Fury Friday.
That's right. I just read this thing about the sniffing the cocoa and the government. The people are like, we need to look into this. It's like, okay, good. I mean, everyone loves a good cacao.
Cacao. Cacao.
It's good for you too. It's got the stuff, but not in the nose, in the mouth.
Right.
In the digestive system.
Wait.
Stop being weird. America, just stop being weird.
Wake me when they get to the marzipan.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts.
So anyway, there's Viagra in your coffee.
Yep.
And so you're drinking Viagra in your coffee, and your kids are snorting cocoa. Go figure. 2017.
Yeah.
You can't make this crap up.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome.
Speaking of drugs.
There's a segue. Speaking of drugs.
Now, this was a funny.
Yeah.
Forbes. You know Forbes.
Forbes is on drugs?
No, well, yes, they might be now.
Okay.
Forbes did an article, and they're not fake news. They're business news. They're known for their reputation.
Yeah.
I mean, you may not always agree with Forbes, but they're not like they're like the Washington Post or New York Times or whatever, right?
Yep, they are.
Right. So Forbes headline on Twitter yesterday, which kind of blew up on Twitter. If you looked at what was trending on Twitter, Forbes, the next big thing in pot, marijuana you can eat. This is their headline.
Oh, the edibles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next big thing in pot, marijuana you could eat. The replies to this thing on Twitter were priceless. Let's see. I'm just. People were replying, "Whoa! Don't get crazy," and pointing out that this headline as being the next big thing in marijuana sales has been around for quite some time. So Forbes was kind of being as Forbes was as square. My reply, which I thought was good and brilliant, was guess who was left out and never got a plate of brownies from their friends.
Right.
Would be the editors of Forbes. Maybe this was better on Twitter and not on the show. But anyway, Forbes. The next big thing in pot, marijuana you can eat.
Yeah, they're just coming around to that now.
Well, it was an article about edibles and all that, but written as if this is new.
Right.
We had no idea. Anyway, yeah, okay. It was better on Twitter. Twitter.
You know what I'm thinking is they should, instead of the pot and the brownies, I'm thinking they should put that coffee in the coffee cake. Next thing you know, woo.
Yeah. Apparently, you could do a lot of things with coffee.
Right.
Anyway.
Is that coffee in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
Oh, my God. It writes itself, doesn't it?
It does.
Maybe
the fun never stops.
Maybe we should talk sports.
We should!
After talking about Viagra and coffee, let's turn to sports, shall we?
We got to come up with a suitable segue for this. Hold on, let me think.
That was a suitable segue.
All right, I've got it. Doc, speaking of being aroused, you know what really arouses me? Sports.
Oh my gosh.
So let's go live to the Sports Deck with Jay-Z. Jay-Z, what is going on in sports?
I have a question. Because I did see the headline.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm interested in this. This was trending on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Carmelo Anthony.
Yes.
Where are we at with Carmelo Anthony? The headline I saw was Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum are calling up Carmelo Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the call was probably something like, hey, you ever watch that crazy show Portlandia? You know, with the two people, Dream of the 90s. Kind of crazy out here. How do you feel about the 90s? You want to live the dream of the 90s?
Right.
You want to grow a big beard that looks like you're a woodsman? Oh, no.
How do you feel about flannel?
Yeah. How do you feel about flannel? Now, you're a basketball player. You're not one of those crazy Timbers soccer players. But anyway, so this story I was reading was that these guys were
trying to
calling them up.
Yeah.
And see if he'd come to the Blazers. So where are we at with that?
I'd say
no.
Yeah, no.
Now, is this because the Knicks, right? Is it the Knicks?
He is with the Knicks.
They said that they're not going to let him.
Yeah,
let him go.
They put the trades on pause for temporarily.
So, is there any chance? Is there any chance? And people were freaking out on Twitter, going, "Wow, CJ, Dame Lillard, Carmelo Anthony, that would be a good front lineup there." So, is there any chance in hell?
Well, wherever he goes, it's a good lineup. I mean, if he goes to Houston, it's a good lineup. If he goes to Portland, it's a good.
But is there a chance?
Cleveland,
that he?
You can definitely tell he wants out. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't see the Knicks giving Carmelo up for nothing.
Yeah. Right.
You know.
Right.
You know, so we don't know.
So
yeah.
So that was interesting.
No, that is intriguing. Jay-Z, who would Portland give up to get Carmelo?
Oh, good question.
Gosh, it better not be Damian Lillard. That's for sure.
Well, no.
There's no way.
There's really no point in doing that. But see, Melo, his contract is so huge.
Yeah.
He's got a huge contract. So, and then the rest of the players on Blazers, besides I don't know, Damian Lillard, CJ, I think they're on pretty big contracts.
Yeah.
Sure.
Besides that, they just got miniature contract players, right?
Right.
So, I don't know.
Because he ain't coming for free.
No.
But I mean, you cannot give up a Damian Lillard for Carmelo.
No.
I don't. I mean, someone has been snorting too much cocoa if they think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think the fan base itself would revolt if they got rid of Lillard for that.
Yeah.
Well, especially since they're calling him up to recruit him. I mean, that's their
yeah.
I mean, that's to build that thing.
Right. Yeah. You're right though. I mean, besides McCollum and
there's really nobody.
Lillard, who are you gonna right?
Yeah. Unless you want to trade your picks that we just got from the draft, maybe.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
Wasn't it like Alex Collins and Swanigan?
Yeah. See, I'm having a hard time with that too because Carmelo was no spring chicken.
Exactly.
And so I mean, I could understand a team. I could see like like 3 years ago, the Mavericks doing it just to try to get over the hump.
Yeah. Exactly.
But Portland has got a little bit more ways to go before they're in the finals.
Yeah.
And Melo's got a shelf life.
Right.
Yeah.
So I
and plus it's Portland. You know, do you really want to come here with all the rain? I mean, yeah, it's a great city, but
but it's West. Houston. I mean, I don't think. I think it's more about the team, you know, and what's going on, like the Western Conference.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more about the money.
Yeah. Well, it always. Yeah. Right. It always.
Yeah.
But how do you get around the cap, though? I mean, I know it's kind of in basketball, it's a pretty soft cap.
Yeah, you have to trade. But if you were to go to Cleveland, it doesn't really make sense because you'd probably trade Love, and that just doesn't make sense.
No,
you're building to beat the Warriors, right?
Right.
So that doesn't make sense at all.
No, it doesn't, because Love for Melo, it's almost a lateral move at this point. And so, I mean, you're right. What are you really enriching?
Exactly. You're not really getting any better.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah. Well, the current Carmelo sweepstakes rolls on, man.
Yeah.
Carmelo Anthony trade slowed by Myers Leonard. That's on
Good trade.
Fansided.
That's a great trade right there.
Miles Leonard? Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I would do it in a heartbeat.
Sure.
But
Right.
with Knicks, no.
No, I don't know. They're not. Miles Leonard. Who?
Yeah, I don't know.
Trade for who?
I don't know. I see.
Sounds like it's unlikely to really happen.
Yeah. But it'd be
But
great.
they're talking about it.
I think the Western Conference, all the other teams besides the Warriors, are trying to build up that super team in order to knock off the Warriors.
Yep. Right, exactly. That's the whole point, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
I mean,
right.
with the T-Wolves getting Jimmy Butler, OKC getting George.
Yeah. So who's on the hump then? Who's that one team that says, man, if we could just add Carmelo Anthony, we got it?
Yeah.
What, Spurs?
To beat the Warriors?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
who else? Who's that sort of B tier team that, man, if we get him, that could put us...
I could say Houston, too.
Yeah?
Houston?
Yeah. Houston.
Mm-hmm. But if you were talking about to get over the hump to get to the playoffs, right?
Right.
I would say Sacramento.
Oh.
Sacramento.
That's interesting.
Possibly the Lakers. But I see that, I see them making the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I could
Maybe like a 7 or 8 seed.
Yeah, I could see Carmelo going to the Lakers more than the Sacramento Kings.
And he's got a house down in LA too. I think so.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But that's just a hop, skip, and a jump from Portland too. So.
Yeah.
What about Derrick Rose?
What about him?
Derrick Rose? He's also thinking about joining the Cavs.
Oh my gosh.
And then the Lakers are negotiating a deal with him, offering him more money and more playing time. They want him to kind of mentor Lonzo Ball. So
if ever a lad needed mentoring, it's Lonzo Ball. Yeah. Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose going to the Lakers, Cleveland, or Chicago. Back to Chicago.
Yeah, he's so mired in injury though.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you expend? Do you
remember the great old days when he was just that superstar, the Chicago hero? You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
He won the MVP, I think, in 2010.
Yeah, for a while.
2011 season. Yeah.
He was the heir apparent.
Exactly.
In Chicago for a while, and he just,
Now, if he goes to Cleveland,
okay,
what's your take on that? Do you see him being that big of a factor, that big of a...
Well, theoretically he could, but when you have that many egos, something has got to give. Somebody is going to, and God help them if they go into a slide. They you start blaming each other. And so I don't know. I mean, it's at that point it's like dynamics within the locker room.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying the chemistry might not work.
Chemistry may not work. I mean, too many alphas out there at one time. I mean, because it's unquestionably going to be LeBron's team.
Yeah.
And
well, maybe maybe Derrick Rose. He's kind of taken that step back. He knows he's not the player that he once was.
Hopefully,
because of injury, right?
Yeah.
So
maybe he figures
it's
his shot to get a chance at the ring.
Exactly. His best chance in the Eastern Conference. I mean, besides the Celtics, it's pretty much a cakewalk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess it's something that you'd have to, you'd have to really sit down and ponder because personality-wise, man, all that in
they all got to mesh. Yeah.
All that in one locker room.
Yeah.
I was surprised, some of the Cleveland this last year, right? Or even Durant going to
the Warriors.
The Warriors.
Sure.
I was like, wow, how's he going to handle, kind of being the number 2 guy, behind
Steph Curry.
Yeah, but he seems to have stepped into that and it seems to be fine with it, which is very complimentary.
So it could probably work in Cleveland.
Yeah, it could, probably.
Yeah.
Depends.
they got to make it work in order to beat the Warriors. They have to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Right. At this point, all the other teams have the Steinbrenner mode where they're just trying to get the dream team together to,
Right.
Yeah.
I was just looking here. I was trying to get the soccer stuff.
Yeah. What about Cristiano Ronaldo?
Yeah, I was looking at it.
So what is going on with him? There's a little.
The manager says that he's gonna stay, but.
Yeah, it's been this has been talked about that he wants to leave Madrid, right? And
Real.
Yeah, and maybe and of course could be a good opportunity for the Premier League team, one of the big English teams. So, so we'll see. Yeah.
What do you think? There's more.
Zidane, sure, Cristiano Ronaldo won't leave Real Madrid this summer.
Got to get him to Tottenham.
I thought I had seen where he had said that he was looking. So,
Well, do you think there's a place where he has more opportunity?
Oh, Tottenham. Of course, I had to say that because I'm following.
There you go. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
Tottenham.
sure. I mean, it's hard to say.
Ronaldo could be a Hotspur. He could have.
I'm just reading some more. Is this Cristiano? According to People magazine, People Babies, July 18, 2017, Cristiano Ronaldo's girlfriend pregnant weeks after welcoming twins via surrogate.
Oh.
Huh. Okay.
You should be like LeBron, make the decision. I'm going to be taking my talents down to Portland, join the MLS.
Yeah, I know, right?
Ooh, there you go. He's
That's
heading to Portland.
And then everybody will start burning his jerseys in the streets.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, it's we're yeah. I mean, it's popping up. So, and I haven't. I mean, right now it's saying he's staying put. I mean, that's the news, right? He's staying put. But it's been a rumor. So we'll see. In other soccer news, we had a real barn burner. Portland Timbers.
Yeah.
They're playing Real Salt Lake at home.
Yeah.
And that got wiped. It was an ugly. Fans were tweeting about that match. It was ugly. Some red cards were issued. But even then, it was a 4-1 Timbers loss.
Yeah.
I mean, Real Salt Lake is, but still, it was kind of.
It was an ugly one. Huh?
It was very ugly at home. At home too, which is usually a place that's tough to beat the Timbers. So they're now in 5th in the standings. Timbers, Kansas City, Dallas, Houston Dynamo, Vancouver, and then Portland. So actually, this is basically Portland 5, Seattle Sounders. Did you see how that works? You see what I just did? God, it's like just happens. Like I can't even control it. I'm so careful. I should have more coffee with Sildenafil. Wow. That was bad. Poor choice of jokes. Yeah, no. Portland 5 and Seattle Sounders 6. So this seems to be kind of the Portland slide.
So how does that playoff system work? Does it work like the NBA? You got the 8 seeds.
Yeah, there's like a cutoff. It's points.
Okay.
So there's a cutoff. So I mean, Real Salt Lake actually is down at 8. So Portland's still ahead of them, but Vancouver's in 4. Vancouver's in 4 slots. So I don't know. Injuries and people off playing the CONCACAF and all that stuff. So I have not been up on my sports so much. We had the Wimbledon, and I saw that Venus Williams had lost. I think maybe we mentioned that, which is kind of, I mean, it is what it is, but it was kind of a bummer. I like.
Talked about Federer.
Yeah, he won.
Tearing it up.
Yeah. So how many times has that guy won?
He's like, I think they said he's won 17 major.
Yeah, is that like the record, right?
It's got to be coming close.
Yeah.
I bet you he drinks the coffee.
Drinks something.
Yeah.
Then we had the Tour de France going on too.
Ooh.
Edvald Boasson Hagen wins stage 19. Chris Froome keeps the lead. I haven't been watching this. I will tell you, folks, and you guys here, if you ever want to watch really cool sports video, like some of the most complicated filming that you'd see in a sport, Tour de France. And the reason is because to cover it, I mean, they're biking all over the place. Like with the cars, or race cars, especially like Indy or whatever, they're going around a track. So they've got cameras stationed there. Now they've got cameras in each car. And, there it is, right? Yeah. But the bike races are, especially the big ones like Tour de France, Gear or whatever, they're amazing because first they have helicopter shots, right? So you always see the big shot with the peloton coming through, right? So they got something in the air, right? And this is all wireless too, HD. So they're in the air. Of course, they're going along the countryside, so it's beautiful. If they're the Tour de France or if they're like in Italy for the others, California's got one, Yeah. But then certainly they've got some cameras at various places as they're coming by, right? But then they got the people following them, and basically the way that works is they've got a motorcycle with a driver and a guy on the back, a gal, a person, camera operator with a whole full wireless camera sitting on the back of the motorcycle, filming right there in the thing. It's and if you look at the shots and everything, it's amazing. So like when they had the other day, they had a really nasty, gnarly crash. They're kind of right there. You see the gnarly crashes are always terrible because they've got cameras on it. But it's just a beautifully filmed sport, and it's I think because the bikes, they don't move as fast as a car. They move fast, but they don't move as fast as a car. Like an Indy car driving 200 miles an hour. It's just tough to film that. Yeah, it's just boom. And it's gone. But the bikes are at least moving fast, so you got the speed, but not at an incredible, like race car speed that you can actually film it and really see the speed. Right. You can see the endurance. It's pretty amazing. I really like watching that. I have, and I know this because I've actually filmed a couple bike type races. Yeah, probably some of the best video I've got out there, and so I kind of had to learn. It's like, well, what do you do? And you hang out. You got a camera. You got to hang out of a car. You got to chase these guys with the camera. It's pretty crazy, pretty amazing. So, but anyway, so I got to catch some of that. I've been so busy. But so that's your Tour de France. I think there was a guy yesterday tweeted a photograph. I can't remember who it is, of his legs after the race. Ooh. And everyone pretty much called it gnarly on social media. Yeah, this is what it looks like after you've run the race in the Tour de France, and veins and all sorts of things popping out of the legs. I know, right? It's not easy. No, it would definitely be. To me, it's like running. I mean, I like going around in a bike. Here's what I like: bike. Going around like the pathways or the city, we got all those nice pathways. Getting a little exercise, little exercise. Oh, look, there's Holman's Bar. Let's stop in and have some fries and a beer. That's right. Bingo. Yeah. There you go.
Then right after, get back on your bike.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Stop for a pint.
That's right. That's pint. That's my idea of endurance and performance. That's not how these bike racers do it, though. Oh, my God. I'm way too lazy for that. And running too, the same deal, right? And distance running, it's just like running. Yeah. It's like, I'll sit here and wave at you. I'll film you. I'll film you running.
Right.
But anyway,
I barely walk. I more matriculate these days.
So that's your thing. What else we got? I mean, we got these headlines like we said earlier. OJ,
the Juice Man,
is out on parole or whatever.
It's going to be released in October, I think.
Yeah. Just in time for Halloween.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Trick or treat.
You know what he's going to dress up as?
Oh. No, what?
He's going to get his old heist costume.
Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh.
Going to do some partying in Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, brother. Yeah,
First thing he's going to do is snort some coffee.
people forget that
The cow.
With cow.
he ended up in the pokey from a heist. Trying to steal. The story was he was trying to steal back some of his memorabilia, I believe.
Yeah.
And armed. It was an armed robbery.
It was armed. So, he whips out a 38. Just says, give me back my stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Kind of like, what were you thinking? Because all eyes on you, and this is, I don't know.
Right.
That's a hell of a downfall. I don't know. It's like, it's just it's one of those phenomena. Someone said, I just heard someone say the other day that there has been no one as famous to take such a fall.
Ooh.
And I was like, and then I was thinking of other examples of that, of some people who really did the same thing. You know what came to mind? Actually, because I was like, really, OJ? Yes, OJ was a massively famous guy, and then accused of murder.
Yeah.
I was thinking like Phil Spector.
Phil Spector.
Phil Spector, right?
Yeah.
Convicted of murdering someone in his mansion, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So Phil Spector.
Phil Spector.
I'm trying to think. How about people don't think of it? Robert Blake.
Robert Blake,
right? The actor Robert Blake was also convicted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of murdering again his ex-wife.
Yeah.
Is that right?
This Phil Spector is one ugly dude.
Hey, now. Phil Spector. I mean, these are music and actors. Phil Spector was a producer,
right?
Famous producer. Wall of Sound.
He had a wall of sound, but he was also a wall of ugly. Sorry, Phil. Oh man.
Yeah.
Damn, you're a wall of ugly.
I'm trying to remember how that went out, but I was trying to think of famous people that were convicted of
I'll
murder.
put one out there, but didn't have anything to do with death or murder, but still a very high fall. Tonya Harding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
at the time,
Yeah. I mean, I think we're the OJ level is the accusation or the murder, right? And
Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Yeah, it's, on February 3rd, 2003, Spector murdered actress Lana Clarkson in his mansion.
Yeah.
And wow, and it was great. Like, it's crazy, right? Because he's 77 years old, and he invented some of the great sounds of rock and roll, pop music.
Yep, revolutionary.
Yeah, but he was crazy pants and murdered someone.
I just thought of somebody. Just hit me. That tied in the Hernandez guy from New England.
Oh, that's right. Hernandez, who committed suicide? Or?
Yeah,
in his jail cell.
A month ago
himself.
or so.
Yeah.
Right. Hernandez. Again, Robert Blake was the other one that came to mind because that was weird.
Right.
TV's Beretta, great Robert
Blake.
Blake. He's 83. Robert Blake is 83.
Bill Cosby.
Murder trial and acquittal. Now, how did this? We need this for actually murder trial.
Yeah.
Blake's criminal trial for murder began on what was it here? Arrest and trial on May 4th, 2001. May 4th, Blake took Blakely out for dinner at a restaurant, Studio City. Blakely was fatally shot in the head while sitting in Blake's vehicle. So she was shot in the head, which was parked on a side street around the corner from the restaurant. Blake claimed that he had returned to the restaurant to collect a gun. I'm going to go back to the restaurant and get my gun. To collect a gun which he had previously left at the restaurant, and claimed that he had not been present when the shooting took place.
Mm-hmm.
The gun Blake claimed to have left in the restaurant was later found to be and determined by police not to be the murder weapon. This is very weird, Jason.
Yeah, it is very weird.
I don't know. On April 18th, so he goes. So she's in the car.
Mm-hmm.
gets Bonnie Lee Blakely
Yeah.
and is shot,
Yeah.
killed in his car as he's going back in the restaurant to get his gun.
Mm.
On April 18th, 2002, Blake was arrested and charged with Blakely's murder. His longtime bodyguard, Earl Caldwell.
Earl.
Yeah, this sounds like a Twin Peaks characterization. Earl Caldwell was also arrested and charged with conspiracy in connection with the murder.
Yeah.
A key event that gave the LAPD the confidence to arrest Blake came when a retired stuntman, Ronald Duffy Hambleton, agreed to testify against him. Hamilton alleged that Blake tried to hire him to kill Blakely.
Wow.
Another retired stuntman and associate of Hamilton's, Gary McClartley, also came forward with a similar story.
Yeah.
So he's going out there talking to his old stuntman, going, "Hey, why don't you murder my ex? I think it's the ex-wife, right?
Hey, what you doing on Thursday? Oh, nothing.
Or was this the girlfriend? This is like a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Met
On and off
Bonnie
girlfriend.
Lee Blakely, formerly of Wharton, New Jersey, who reportedly had a history of exploiting older men, especially celebrities, for money. She was dating Christian Brando, son of Marlon Brando, during her relationship with Blake. Blakely became pregnant and told Brando and Blake that her baby was theirs.
Wow.
Both. That doesn't quite work that way.
Yeah.
She both told him. Initially, Blakely named the baby Christian Shannon Brando and stated that Brando was the father. Blakely wrote letters describing her dubious motives to Blake. Okay. This is a conspiracy. Blake insisted that she take a DNA test and prove the paternity. Blake and Blakely were married. No, he married her. Were married on November 19, 2000 after DNA tests proved that Blake was the biological father of her child, who was renamed Rosie. It was his second marriage. This is David Lynch level kind of stuff.
It is. Yeah.
She was 44 years old when she died. So I don't know. I mean, have you read the history of Robert Blake?
Yeah, I read a little bit about it, and it's so. The weird thing is, all of them are so wacky, and it's also convoluted.
Yeah, there's the prosecutor who handled the case, Shelley Samuels, was interviewed by CBS. During the interview broadcast in November 2003, she admitted that the prosecutors had no forensic evidence implicating Blake in the murder, that they could not tie him to the murder weapon, that they did not have any witnesses, and they had virtually nothing in the way of hard evidence.
Right.
So, and then the bodyguard said that he basically tried to set up the murder.
Yeah.
And he had the defense team, so it looks kind of like an OJ thing.
Kind of
an OJ thing.
If I think we need to break this case wide open, we need to hunt down Cato Kalin because he may have been staying with Blake at the time.
Yeah,
America's favorite house guest. Where's Cato?
Yeah, I don't know. So he's kind of. I don't know. In March 2016 interview, Blake claimed he had a private nurse and he was suffering from incontinence. Wow. Okay. So it's kind of another weird kind of like OJ-ish thing here. I mean, I think the thing about Robert Blake is it got overshadowed at the same time with the aftermath of OJ.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Phil Spector.
Yeah.
Who is in prison for that murder, and the whole Robert Blake thing kind of got
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's 3 celebrities right there.
Wow, yeah. Wow.
So, okay. Well, that's your Feel-Good Friday.
Right.
Celebrities murdering their whatever.
Jay-Z, what's going on in the sports desk?
Yeah. Was there any... Yeah, what else we got?
It's a perfect segue into sports, right?
Right.
Hugh Freeze.
Hugh Freeze. Doc, do you know who Hugh Freeze is?
Hugh Freeze.
Hugh Freeze?
I don't, but I'm going to ask.
Yeah.
Does he like the ladies?
He does like the ladies.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
So much so that he
get
his wallet out?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah. He'll run some plastic on him, you know. He
Better to pay cash in that case.
Right. Less paper trail, folks.
So what's going on?
Well, Hugh is the head coach of the University of Mississippi, also known as Ole Miss, their football program. And I'm going to turn it over to Jay-Z to give us the nitty-gritty.
Well, apparently he's been having an affair with some ladies, some hookers.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Had to step down from the head coach position.
Right, had to resign.
Yeah. So he's out.
Yeah, you know, before the show, I was telling Jay-Z, I said, you know, there was a time in the SEC, the Southeastern Conference, that getting busted for hookers was actually grounds to get a raise, right? I mean, back in the old days, the SEC, you know, hookers, that's just a Thursday night, you know. Now it's like, you know, we're trying to clean up our mess now, so hookers are bad.
Well, that's a good idea.
But, you know, I don't know, man.
I mean, you know...
sounds
like a good idea.
It sounds like a good idea.
I mean, guess they just didn't have very good morals back then.
No.
That's the whole, you know, maleness of sports, isn't it? You know,
it is.
It's like if you're kind of a privileged person, you could get away with all sorts of nasty kind of things.
All right.
And then we give examples of 3 guys who offed people and.
Right.
One didn't get away, but the other 2 kind of did.
Yeah. So Freeze is out there dialing up call girls, some escorts, you know.
Jeez, everyone's getting in trouble now, huh?
Yeah.
Everybody's resigning. Hugh Freeze, Sean Spicer. Jeez, is there a connection?
You're right. Spicy, what's going on, man? Maybe he was hiding in the bushes for another reason. I'm just saying. We don't know.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know.
So what else? What else we got? Anything else we got in the sports world right now? I haven't. I've been busy.
Yeah.
Haven't been keeping up.
Are you guys excited for the McGregor and Mayweather fight?
When is that coming up again?
August something.
No, okay. So that is one thing that I have been. I haven't really been tracking it, but it's been coming into the what's been going on there. Lots, nothing, because they go out. They're on this little tour, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they go out on this little tour before the fight.
Yeah.
And so they've been like trash talking.
Yeah, they get in each other's faces and stuff.
Getting in each other's faces, trash talking each other, getting personal, you know, business and all that. And what is the pay per view? Is $100? Is that what it was?
Something like.
I think it's $100.
Let me check this.
They set the pay per view.
The record,
yeah, for $100. And that's what he said. He said, $100. It should be $120. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so $99.95.
No, $100.
$100.
$100.
And it'll start on August 26th is the fight date.
Oh, so it's so we're getting close. Mm-hmm. We're getting close. You know what?
Where's it at? Is it?
It's in Vegas, I think.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
I think
and
so.
The T-Mobile Arena.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sorry, for $99.95, if you're not resurrecting Andre the Giant and Rowdy Piper and a cage match.
Yeah. Yeah, for $99.95, Jesus better be on the card.
That's right.
You know, because I mean, I
tag
want
team with Moses.
Right. I want to see some Lazarus going on there. He's raising people from the dead, water and the wine stuff. I'm not paying $99.95 unless we're getting some miracles. Damn it.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know.
I wonder what religious people think of this program.
There are religious demographics.
In a cage match?
Y'all need Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you made time for Jesus today?
Right. Hey, look, our A1 demos say that the Mennonites are huge with us.
Yeah, I know.
They're huge. The Amish love us, even though they don't watch us because they don't have any TVs. That's why they love us.
Yeah. That would be cool.
Yeah, we're huge in the Mennonite circuit.
I'd go back to church if there was cage matches.
Sunday. Right,
Calvinists versus the Catholics.
Oh my gosh, that is an ecumenical throwdown right there, man. Hey, that's right. They're like ding, 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 ding in this corner. Pope Francis.
Oh my gosh.
And in this corner,
defending the faith.
That's right. And in this corner,
Louis
Farrakhan.
Oh, wow.
Next thing you know, it's a coal miner's glove match.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the trash talk with that? Of course, they have been doing the trash talk. It's been going on for centuries.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. It's the Crusades 2.0.
Yeah.
You know? We're gonna fight in the middle of Jerusalem, and we're gonna get this thing going. You know, I'm gonna take your head and slam it into that Wailing Wall. Anyway, sorry.
Are we watching a little too much Life of Brian lately?
You're right. It may have been Monty Python. Yeah. That would be a skit in Life of Brian.
I know. It sounds just like a perfect Monty Python.
Right.
They may have done that. If we don't have anything, I don't know what's coming up with the sports. If we don't have any sports, I was going to ask, and this is sad news. Either you guys Linkin Park fans?
Oh, used to be.
Used to like Linkin Park. What are they? What are they like? I'm not. I'm not. I mean, it's nothing against them. I'm
big
too
in the
old.
big in the '90s, early
Frank
2000s.
Sinatra. You know, I'm kind of
chairman of the board.
You know me. So the Linkin Park. So they had some good albums.
Yeah, they did. I used to have a whole bunch of their music on my iPod.
Yeah. Who liked the Linkin Park? So sad news. They're broke yesterday. Their lead singer passed away. He
committed suicide.
Oh, man,
they confirmed it on the
and it's
on social media.
Eerily, this really sad and the heartbreaking thing about this, it's eerily reminiscent of Chris Cornell's death.
I was just gonna ask that.
Antidepressants have to do with it, and there's a lot of people are like shaking their heads now, like something's going on,
Yeah, I read. I saw someone said, "Oh, I talked to him and he was happy." And that's exactly what I was thinking because we had the Soundgarden. Same thing.
Cornell,
like he literally had done a show.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, and earlier in the night. Yeah.
And usually after when you're a musician, I mean, doing a show is
you're on a high.
Yeah.
You get done.
and of course the reason you do that.
Yeah.
Is for there's lots of reasons, but one reason you're willing to go out on stage as an artist is to perform in front of an audience, get that feedback. Yeah. They're feeding let's be honest, they feed your ego. They feed, you feel great. You're all eyes on me.
It's that raw kinetic energy.
And rock and roll. Come on, And so he plays a show and then goes off stage and is not feeling well and takes some pills and then hangs himself. Right. So the
same thing with the
same kind of. I wondered that, Jason. That's the first thing that came to my mind. It's like it was sudden. He said he was 41 years old. Yeah. He suddenly, he died at 41. You're like, okay, what is that, right? An accident or something. I mean, it's always, it's not like a car crash or something like that. Yeah. It's got to be like an overdose or is it a suicide or something. I
was reading a story and they mentioned it. I mean, literally right after the lead was antidepressants may have had something to do. I'm like, oh god, here we go.
About to ask you guys if he suffered from depression.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Chester Bennington on RollingStone.com. My mind is like a bad neighborhood. So, honors Chester Bennington. Like I say, I apologize. I'm not not a Linkin Park. I mean, it's it's one of those things that maybe if you played me some of their biggest hits or whatever, those guys. Yeah, that's a good song. You know what I mean?
You have to hear them to remember.
Yeah. Like I was happy that I'd known some Soundgarden. I was like, oh no, I know Soundgarden. They're good. But Suicide by Hanging again? Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm-hmm. See? Yeah. Okay. So my take on this is that some of those, people are like, well, don't denigrate the medications and the prescription drugs, right? That's what they tell me. Yeah. And I say, but the side effects and there's tons of different drugs for depression.
Right.
Lots.
And that's what they need to look at, right? Not so much that people use antidepressants, because it does a lot of people a lot of good.
Right.
But they need to look, and I'm sure now that there's got to be some studies done about the mixing of it, and
I hate to tell you this, but no. and the whole reason why is because of big pharma.
Money.
Anything that big pharma is big money. It's part of the reason we have such a screwed up healthcare system. And I know, what do you mean the miracle drugs and stuff?
The modern miracles.
Yes, but these are all Wall Street traded companies. I mean, we have had this example. Yeah. We have the guy who's on trial right now. Remember, God, now I can't. His name Shkreli's on trial right now,
the
right?
EpiPen thing, right?
No, the EpiPen was a different one. This was a different company where he was buying up these drug companies and buying up the patents for these life-saving drugs that have been around for forever.
Right.
And then raising the price through the roof.
Jacking it up like 2,000%.
For no reason. Yeah. And of course, it costs money to make or whatever. BS. Yeah. BS. Okay? This is a problem. And it's a problem, it's kind of a problem with Wall Street, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to know what the root of the problem is for Big Pharma, all we have to do is go to Gordon Gekko.
Right.
Greed is good. You know? I mean, that's exactly the thing. And the whole original idea behind patents and medicine was that you do R&D, you do research, you come up with a medicine, you know, or it could be some procedure, some device, right? Okay, company invests money in R&D. That's fine. We know that. That's what the money's there for. You do an R&D. That's a cost. It costs the company. Costs the company millions to develop that. Right. Do the trials, get it through that. I have no problem with that. And then you need to, sell it and get your money back from the R&D. Yeah. And of course, because they want to get a profit off that too. Right. So they want to do all that. But at some point, the way that system was supposed to work is you have like 20 years or whatever it is, right? Yeah. You have a time window where you sell your miracle drug and that, and you make the money. Yep. You get your costs back, and you make some profit on it. You're also making other drugs too. You're not just making one. Although some of these companies, it looks like they're just one hit wonder. I mean, that's I think what the Shkreli thing was like. It was like he was buying up individual patents for individual medicines. But at some point, that patent ends, and other companies can come in and manufacture the generics. Yeah. And then and that's for the common good for people.
Right. You see, and that's what's missing now in today's R&D and just the philosophy behind it all is what you said, the common good. What's missing now is altruism. Because think about it. Back in the days, Saul's making
all true.
Yeah,
all true. I can't even pronounce it. What is it called?
Right, but no, I mean back in the days, Saul's making penicillin because it was the right thing to do, and it helped save people's lives. And now you've got these R&D guys or the scientists. I don't want to rip on the scientists because most of them are just trying to do good work.
It's not the researchers and the scientists. Right? It's the company.
But they don't think now.
It's the investors.
Right, but it's not through a paradigm of common good or altruism anymore. It's a paradigm of how much can we sell this for and make the money for.
Yeah.
And like I said Wednesday, hey, I love capitalism. Capitalism's cool, but the thing about capitalism is capitalism doesn't take into account human nature and the heart.
Right.
It's just, and that when you're dealing with medications and
they skyrocket. Here's the problem.
Yeah.
They set a price, right?
Yeah.
And so you have that price of that drug. Okay. There it is, right?
Yeah.
And what's been happening lately with rampant Wall Street capitalism on fire is that the prices have inflated, have skyrocketed. That's not the trend. That's not how you want to make that happen.
No.
And so also these companies, these Wall Street big pharma companies, the thing they need to do is sell. Right?
Yeah.
They need to sell. They sell drugs. Okay? They sell drugs. So they want to go out there and they want to sell drugs. So they need to invent drugs. Vaccines is a huge one because vaccines are, you're not dealing with someone sick. It's preventative. And there's miracle. I mean, obviously vaccines have changed medicine and have been a great benefit. But some of the stuff that they want to make vaccines for is like, really? Do you really need a vaccine? And I can't think of... there's a couple of examples I've heard, and I'm like, and the research gets a little sketchy too.
Well, yeah,
and you're still pumping that in your body. Now listen, now everyone's gonna go, Doc's an anti-vaxxer too. You know what? Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Healthy lifestyle. If you can, and I'm not suggesting that you medicine and all that, but if there are things that are natural that can treat your problem, whatever it is, change in lifestyle, that sort of thing, I think it's better than taking the drugs.
Well, it's a two-pronged thing.
And I'm not anti-medicine or science or anything like that.
Well, in that respect, it's a dual thing. The paradigm, again, is most companies now, they're not selling you something to cure. It's now they're selling something to treat it. And when you're trying to treat something, you're not trying to cure it. You're just trying to keep it down, and you sustain it long enough, you get no more meds. But listen, hey, I'm kind of living proof in one aspect of that is the preventative sort of stuff, right? Is, folks, when I was growing up, all right, started around 13 or 14 years old, a long time ago, I drank pop per day, big gulps, big gulps, right?
Not good for you.
Not good enough. And I just got tired. One day, even me...
He says as he downs his coffee.
Right. Even me got tired of... I'm just tired of feeling like crap.
Yeah.
You know? And and you're right. It is a lifestyle change. And so I can proudly say I haven't had pop in 4.5 months now.
That's right.
And cold turkey. And this is a guy who I had a 100-ounce cup.
Yeah.
And I would drink big gulps every single day, right? Even the summers, like sometimes 2 and 3 times a day. And so I wasn't your average pop drinker. I was your average pop drinker on steroids. And but it's after you put that stuff in your system long enough, crap's gonna happen, and I just got tired of it.
Yeah, I this is a tough discussion to have because, like in my case, you don't want to come off as holier than thou, like, because everyone has their stuff, right?
Sure.
Yours is a big gulp. Soda. I used to drink those too when I was young. Yeah. Like when the big gulp came out, it was like, hey, right?
Right, yeah. 32 ounces, woo! This is going to be great.
And I was young, and at some point in my adulthood, I hit the wall. Like when I was 30. No, when I was like 30 or something, I was like, boom. I was like, what? And so I started, pulling back on that stuff, and now I barely drink soda pop. I mean, I'll have one occasionally,
but it's not lifestyle.
Like a Dr. Pepper. I like a Dr. Pepper.
It's good to have like once in a while,
Yeah, but not.
But it's not lifestyle. It's not something.
No, I don't drink that stuff every day.
Right, dude. I was drinking at least a 2-liter every day, at least, right. And,
I drink. I do drink coffee, probably a little more than I should, especially since doing the show. But I also drink tea, black tea, and of course the caffeine. There's like, what is the caffeine good for you? Is it not? Okay, obviously I'm getting my dose of caffeine. Yeah. There is considered some research about some of what's in. There's tannins. There's tannins in wine. There's tannins in coffee. There's tannins in tea. That is supposed to be very, very good for your blood, your heart, and things like that. So I'm getting plenty of my tannins. And there's some other stuff that they come up with. Again, to excess, and probably we all should moderate. None of us are perfect. We all should moderate. You should drink water. Drink a lot of water.
Right.
But my grandmother. She was 96. She lived and she ate like a block of cheese every day. I mean, dairy was like going out of style with her, right? And the candy too. And I am one of those people that I think that a lot of that manufactured cow dairy is probably not so good for you. That doesn't mean that you can't have dairy and that there's good dairy out there, because you can do that, but maybe you don't need dairy every day. We grew up with you had glasses of milk, you always have a glass of milk, and it turns out they did research later and they said, that's not necessarily, you're not a cow, are you? It turns out there was a lot of BS behind that. And so that's not to say that you can't have a glass of milk or whatever. But I mean, when we were kids, it was like they were, you were drinking it by the gallons. Sure, it's protein and ways to get all that. But I think the bigger issue is what's in the stuff you're putting in your body, what's in the food and all that. With the soda pop, there's all sorts of crazy stuff,
additives, all sorts of stuff,
and crap, right? And so if you can consume something, I read all the ingredients every time I get something. I read the ingredients. When I cook, I cook with very minimal ingredients. I don't need preservatives. I don't need anything in what I cook, right? And when I look for food, I don't want stuff with all the additives and preservatives. And I think that's also part of the problem. I think that a lot of that stuff is making us sick. We were talking about the other day, and of course our buddies over at Kraft had to have their say on Slate, whatever. Oh yes,
Kraft.
But the stuff that they were finding in the powdered cheese with the macaroni and cheese
had nothing to do with cheese at all.
No, it's for making plastics.
God.
And they said, well, it's just got in there, and they always say, that meets the federal standards for that. It doesn't violate the law. No. It doesn't violate the FDA.
Yeah.
Well, what's it doing in there in the first place?
Right.
Right. And it's up to everybody to manage that. You as an individual.
Exactly.
To stay healthy. I mean, the companies aren't going to do it for you.
No.
And if you really go and you look at the food and stuff, and again, no one's perfect. I'm not either. I mean, we all have our little things, and we're like, oh, I really like that. Oh, it's got 40 billion preservatives in it. Well, be aware of that, But but try. And the more simpler food, the more simpler it is, the better it's going to be for you.
I agree. Totally agree. Yeah.
And so I don't know. And I have an example of the prescription stuff. Quick. I'll try to do it quick. But I think it's important. I had a medical problem a few years ago. I developed asthma. And it was, I never went to the hospital, but I came pretty close. In fact, at one point, I should have maybe gone to the hospital. I couldn't breathe. I was laying in my bed and I couldn't breathe. Turns out, and I've lived with cats my whole life, I go to the doctor. Turns out, you are allergic to cats. You've got a couple cats. I've lived with cats and everything.
The dander.
But I've always had kind of a thing. Most common allergy you can find. The doc was like, and this doc was really good. He was not the guy who was throwing prescriptions at you every time. He was like, well, we could do this or do that. You decide, if you want this or that. But this was definitely a problem.
Yeah.
So I needed medicine. And they give you an inhaler. And basically his answer is, the way you can fix this is you can get rid of the cats. And at the time, that wasn't going to happen. So if that's not going to happen, we give you this, you inhale to manage your airways, and you do it twice a day.
Sure.
And it should manage that. And then they want you to take like the antihistamine, the cold pill.
Yeah.
Maybe take one of those a day. And then they give you the big inhaler, and that's the emergency. That's like if you can't breathe, that's what they give you at the hospital. For people who have asthma, they know this. I've never had a problem in my life. So then I got that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Years later, I'm not around the cats. I'm still doing this thing. And I start looking at the side effects of just this inhaler, which was steroid, anxiety. Guess what I was suffering from at the time? Anxiety. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, the cats aren't around anymore, and I'm breathing well, so maybe I should stop this. And I did. And I was fine after that. So my situation changed. But on the other hand, the other issue I had was they were saying you take this antihistamine, take one of those cold pills.
Benadryl or something. Yeah.
Well, Benadryl kind of knocks you out, right? And so you want to take one of those when you have the flu or something.
Right.
But like the Claritin, I think it's the Lortidane. And I read all the stuff that's in there and the side effects. This stuff builds up in your liver.
Yeah.
And whatnot. I was like, I don't think I want to take that every day. Because the first thing, you don't want stuff building up in your liver.
No.
And that's another problem with a lot of these prescription drugs like antidepressants and things. There's issues with stuff building up in your liver.
Yep.
And you kind of need your liver. And so I was kind of against that. And someone started saying, well, there's some natural kind of things that happen. And so I won't get into it here, but I started trying the natural stuff, and it really helped.
Good.
And my allergies have been really bad this season. For the first time since I had the asthma.
Yeah.
Now I haven't had the asthma, but I've been sneezing.
Oh, you're not alone. It's been
Portland. This area has the second worst allergies in the world.
Yeah.
This is what I read in the world. Like somewhere in Afghanistan or India or somewhere has the worst.
Up in the Hindu Kush, right? Yeah.
Here in the Willamette Valley because we grow grass and all this crap in the Willamette Valley. So you can have a nice lawn and we can sneeze.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I've been having a tough time with it. Well, I have some supplements that actually work, and they seem to work okay.
Yeah.
They seem to, and I'm always willing to give that a try.
Right.
Before taking like one of those pills. Yep. And I think this season, with the allergies and the winter and having some of that respiratory, I think one time I took one of the pills over the counter, one of those Claritins or whatever. Yeah. Because it was like, it's real bad once.
Yeah.
And that's fine, right?
Sure.
But there are some natural alternatives, and the problem is I don't like people who think the natural alternatives are BS, and I also get that the people who are all like 100% natural and think medicine is BS.
Right.
You don't look. You don't have to be on either end of the spectrum. Maybe middle of the road. Maybe
a happy medium.
A happy medium. Yeah. Maybe sometimes you need the medicine because there's that, or maybe there is a natural alternative. And there are occasionally some doctors, physicians, MDs, that are aware of those things.
Yes.
Rather than naturopaths, but that there are things where they say, well, there's been some studies and that this really works as an alternative. It is healthier. The natural stuff has been around for centuries. For native nomadic peoples did not have big pharma to help them out. They had roots and substances and all sorts of things that they would take for various issues. Yeah. So I'm kind of one of those people who's like, bring it all in.
Me too. Yeah.
And if you can avoid the medicines with all the side effects, all the because that's what it is. You want to cure, you want to fix the problem you're having.
Right. Yeah.
Great.
If you're watching a commercial and literally the commercial is 90% of them telling you what the side effects are or possible side effects are.
They all are.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Jason.
Yeah.
Coffee with curmudgeons may cause anal leakage.
We have been known to do that. I'm sorry, but we need to throw it out there in full disclosure.
We need the whole.
No,
I say that because that's one of the classic side effects that you have to listen to. It may cause this. It may cause
anal leakage.
It may cause feelings of despair.
Right.
I mean, it's like you listen to these things and you're like, and once they're done with all the disclaimers, you're like, you know what? I'll just ride this out. I don't think I'm gonna take the medicine. Thank you very much.
You can save your anal leakage. The cool thing about our show is, though...
Except when you've got coffee that may cause an erection that lasts more than 4 hours.
There's a yin and yang to all this.
I'm sorry, folks. This is...
Well, we do our good work, though, because we say, listen, folks, coffee curmudgeons...
We're trying to keep it clean, but...
Yeah, we may cause anal leakage, but we also advocate bran muffins.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
So... we're trying to keep a happy balance. No, but about
Brand is good for you.
Like the more natural sort of medicine. I about four and a half months ago, I switched healthcare providers, and I go out to a place called now the National University of Natural Medicine.
Oh, there you go, Jason.
And these people are so thorough. They went through everything. What are you doing? Lifestyle
So the question is: are they hocus pocus quacks, or are they on the level? Because that's what the people who are in the medicine want to portray anyone like that.
She like you has said. Listen, we understand Western medicine has its advantages. Isn't this a great society and stuff? But. Mm-hmm. We're not going to discount some of the Eastern philosophies and sort of the natural, holistic sort of stuff. And I got to tell you, man, she's the only doctor in my life that told me not only should you not be drinking the pop. Of course, the doctors say that all the time.
Right.
But this one was telling me, listen, this is why. Here, I'm going to show you this, and this, and this. Does this and this and this to you. If you just do it, just try it. Just do me a favor. Just try it and see. Right. And it changed. Bam. I felt better.
Right. And the thing is, you're talking like Western and the Eastern, the Chinese and Asian stuff. I mean, they've been doing this for thousands of years, right? They get these things. And here's the reason why we don't, again, I'm sorry, Big Pharma is the reason why we don't have this stuff out front. Because it is not a good profit motive.
Nope.
And the research is not a good profit motive because it cuts into the profit motive of making drugs. And the other thing you need to know about Big Pharma, and it's not the R&D, it's not the scientists who are coming up with the miracle treatments and stuff. It is the marketing and sales. That's where the money goes. That's where, because when you're watching the Tour de France, right? Yeah. You're watching a big fight. You're watching a big media event. Yeah. What's the big media buy? All of a sudden, boom! Here's a commercial. Right? Guys out in the garden, ladies.
Just watch the Super Bowl.
A couple older people. She's in the kitchen. He's out in the garden. He comes into the garden. Goes, I'm suddenly feeling frisky.
Right.
Oh, what's this commercial about?
Right. Next thing you know, there's two middle-aged people sitting in bathtubs, and stuff's going on.
They're usually just sitting on the porch holding hands.
Right.
Ask your doctor about that crazy coffee from Texas.
And then you get that soothing voice, right? The soothing voice that comes in. But be aware, it may cause leakage.
Right. And then it just goes off, and then they put the whole big thing in, right?
Your sphincters.
Come on.
I'm just helping. I'm helping people.
We're trying to do the best we can to keep this on a, and we, of course, we can't because, we're talking about the stuff in the coffee and all that. But anyway, I think we're still radio safe.
No, we are.
We're radio safe.
Yeah.
But again, there's so many different drugs and things that get advertised, and those are big media buys. You don't put your drug ad or something on a major sporting event or all that. You're shelling out big money for those minutes.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where a lot of this money goes.
Yep.
And it's bizarre too, because it's like you're kind of like, here's the thing. I'm not the person who watches a football game or something. Although it would be soccer.
It would be football.
Yes. I'm not the guy who's going to watch that, see a drug ad and go, ooh, I need to go ask my doctor about that. It's like, no, if I got a problem, doctor's going to tell me. I'm not going to go and go, hey, I made this appointment because I saw this neat new drug and I wanted to get some. It's like, well, what's your problem? I don't know. I just saw it on the TV and I'll take the side effects.
Right.
But it's like, what? Why? You go to the doctor, you have a problem, then the doctor goes, well, have you thought about...
Therein lies some of the shadiness too, because pharma companies really, I mean, they will literally pay doctors to prescribe their medicine.
That's right. Yeah.
And so
that's my recommendation for physician MD.
Yeah.
When you go to a doctor, you don't have to go. I mean, just interview your physician, interview your doctor, where they stand on prescriptions and where they stand on salespeople from medical companies. Now, this guy who I got because I needed it. I had the asthma, so I had to treat it, right? Yeah. He had the signs out front about his policy on medical sales and pharma, and the rules in his office, and all this stuff. He was really good. That's the kind of physician.
How refreshing.
That's the physician you want, right?
Yeah.
You want the physician that really, isn't just a pill. It started back in the 50s when it used to be on TV, remember? It's like, oh, take 2 aspirin and call me in the morning, right? Just throw a pill at it.
Don't worry, kid, there's a shot for that.
Right. Yeah. So if you can find someone who's got the whole thing, and again, I'm talking middle of the road, moderation, not, I mean, if you want to go do the holistic thing, do it. That's fine, you know? Yeah. But also don't go on that other side where you're just like walking and doing this and that and the drugs and the hospital and and here's the thing. Then you take this medicine, then you have to take this other medicine to counteract the other thing, which then you have to take the third medicine to counteract those symptoms, and the fourth medicine, the fifth medicine. I've seen this up close, folks. It's not pretty. You've got an arm's list of medications to treat everything that's going on. You're fighting a losing battle.
You take you're having pain, so they give you a painkiller, but they give you a painkiller, then they say, oh wait, you may feel nausea with this, so we're going to give you an anti-nausea medicine.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, you need this, a beta blocker for this, but the beta blocker also blocks out another thing, so we've got to give you a thing because not to block out the other thing.
And who does that benefit? Does it benefit the patient, or does it benefit the pharma company because they're writing out the prescriptions?
You see.
And now the irony of it, this actually is a good segue, and we've got to wrap it up, into a big news item, coming back around to Jeff Sessions even, is, hot in the news is America's addiction to opiates.
Opioids,
OxyContin, right? Yep. Vicodin is
Percocets.
Right, the Percocets,
the
painkillers, the legal painkillers that you get for your pain.
Yeah,
and they're opiate based.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? Well, kids, do you remember your health class? Opiates are highly both mentally, but most of all physically addictive. Mm-hmm. That's just how they work.
Yep.
They solve the pain, but you always need more of them, and if you take them away, you feel really, really, really bad.
Right.
Okay? And the opiates are what we have as painkillers. They're incredibly effective painkillers since the invention of morphine.
Yeah.
They come from the poppy from Afghanistan. How ironic.
Don't you think? It's like rain on your wedding day. It's a free ride.
Afghanistan. There's something Afghanistan. Anyway, the poppies. I don't know where the pharma they maybe they don't get it from Afghanistan or whatever. They're synthetic.
Yep.
Opiates.
Yeah.
Which they say, Jason, they say is not addictive.
Yeah.
But when they say it's not addictive,
it means it's addictive.
Yeah. I mean, it just is just how it works, right?
Yep.
and this is the pain management. And certainly people go to surgery, they do this stuff. They need the stuff.
Yeah.
Right? But then you got to be careful because you can get hooked on it.
You can get hooked.
And of course, in the news, and I don't understand this either because of the way Big Pharma really, advertises on news sites. They advertise with the Washington and the New York and the BC and all those.
Sure.
You see the pharma there.
Yeah.
The interesting story that keeps coming up is how so many people are addicted to these things, and the government wants to solve that problem, get people unhooked. And now there's lawsuits against these pharma companies.
Yeah.
For the addiction of the opiates. Kind of like almost reminiscent of, remember the tobacco companies and that sort of thing?
You want to know what's sinister now? What's sinister is because of this whole opioid crisis, and I do believe it is a crisis, these pharma companies...
Seems like it.
Did you know that there are literally 5 lobbyists for every member of Congress now?
There you go.
That tells you how much these guys are saturating and inundating to keep their power hold on. 5 for every member of Congress, and there's 436, I believe, just in the House of Representatives alone. Times that by 5, and you get the idea of all these, people marching around there on K Street in D.C. Trying to keep the stranglehold on. For Big Pharma.
That's right. Well, I want to. So I'm just kind of looking at this. I want to find out what's driving the whole anti-opiate. I mean, obviously, it's not good for you. It's actually a real thing.
Yeah.
But with all the lobbying in Congress, with all the pharma, what's the profit motive to go after these companies that are selling the opiates? You know what I mean? I could see going after the doctors that are overprescribing and all of that, and that's what's happening. I think that's been going on.
Yeah.
But you end up at the doorstep of the big companies, and there's these lawsuits that are coming up. What's going to happen with that? Because, as you pointed out, these big pharma companies have lots of lobbying, lots of dollars in their
not
government,
going quietly,
and they're not. I wonder, could it be that there's something else out there? Could it be that the big pharma has other treatments that they could sell for a larger profit than opiates? And so if you kill the opiates, you could sell these other, make them illegal or something and sell something else?
No doubt, but it gets played down.
He asks, follow the money?
Right, well, it gets played down due to special interests, but a lot of the heart of it is, it is such an epidemic now in areas of our country. It's a class action thing. Enough people now have been affected by this.
That's what they're talking about. That's what they're doing. I just
look at West Virginia alone.
But again, it took a long time to bring down tobacco companies because they were so powerful.
Yep.
You know. If you're pulling the purse strings of your government, you're not going to get taken down, right?
Yeah.
That's a key form of corporate capitalism.
And that's a sad thing. In order to get to class action, what is a class action? Class action means there is enough people that have been negatively affected by this stuff to warrant. And I'm not trying to play down the epidemic. We've known this for a long time that this is a problem, and people, it's like, hey, you got to be careful with that stuff because that's going to really mess up your day. Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm curious as to why now. Why, especially with a government that seems so friendly to pharma and business, So I gotta think too that in a sinister way, that maybe there's something else out there, or it provides another profit opportunity, because there's got to be a profit opportunity.
I'm sure there is.
It's just the way I got to think today.
First of all, it's not sinister, because you've been proven correct over and over and over again.
Right.
And second of all, if you're seeing, it's a good general bet that if you're seeing a mainstay on the shelves in your pharmacy the R&D department at like Pfizer or right in your own big pharma company, they're at least 2 generations ahead of that.
Yeah.
And,
They got stuff what they call stuff in the pipeline.
Sure.
Right. They got medicines and drugs because it takes a while to get it through the FDA. In fact, they even was it Obama that did that, the fast track?
Yeah, he did. He was literally trying to plead and wheedle to work with the FDA to get these guys to approve stuff faster. They call it the
fast track.
But again, at this point, a lot of these people, the big pharmas, they want to suppress for as long as possible until something doesn't sell anymore. Then they
and a couple other points here before we go about this is one, there's laws on the books that indemnify pharma companies for things like
can't be held responsible
vaccine screw-ups because again, I'm not an anti-vaxxer, folks, but there have been cases where there has been tainted vaccines, safety issues, recalls, and all that stuff. Very, very bad. So substances, it's not the whole. I'm not one of those people that says, "Oh, I think the vaccine causes the this or the that." I'm a skeptic on that, but I do know that you got to be really careful with the vaccines, with the safety issues. And one of the things that the government does out of, quote, altruism is that, well, we need these vaccines for people, we need them, or we send vaccines to some third world country, we need this, we need that, right? Yeah. Okay, sure. That right, because we want the people to be healthy. But at the same time, we're going to sign off, to make sure you don't have liability if something goes wrong with that vaccine. Yeah. So that they can come back in class action and sue you. Those are laws on the books. Both not only in the U.S., but I think in the U.K.
I'm sure all over.
World Health Organization. I mean, it's and you're kind of like, hey. Where's the motive to make sure this is really safe? Because if they screw up, what is it? There's a little something in there to make you sick.
Unfortunately, sometimes oversight gets lost in the shuffle.
Oversight, thank you. That's what we need. Yeah. And then the other piece that and we're rolling it right back, right where we started, right? Is the whole cannabis and all of that. Pharma, I think part of the reason why you've had such government, Schedule it's Schedule 1. It's Schedule 1. What is that? Just like cocaine.
Schedule 1's heroin.
Which is
cocaine,
opiate.
Heroin.
Cocaine, LSD. Did LSD Schedule 1, I think.
Yeah.
But that's the same. Schedule 1 marijuana.
Yeah.
THC and cannabis.
Yeah.
Alcohol is not Schedule 1, by the way.
Right. Yeah.
It's not on the schedule. It's legal. But here's the thing. The profit motive in that stuff is tougher, right? And you see it right now because you got mom and pop shops doing stuff.
Yeah.
But in the research, when you do that, the scientists cannot research it safely enough because it's Schedule 1. How do I get it to research it and research it on patients if it's highly federally illegal to do the research? And so I have been told, I have it on good sources supposedly, that where most of the best research on CBDs and all that comes from Israel.
I've heard that too. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I got to look into that, but that's what I've been told that they have research, and there is research on the benefits of that. I've actually seen it.
Glaucoma.
Well, that's when it started in the 70s.
Help to treat with cancer and stuff. Sure.
Cancer, and so now we have medical. The states have been making it legal, right? And saying, hey, look, and it seems to be safe, and it's not physically addictive. By the way, you always have these people who throw out their agendas like,
it's addictive. It's a gateway drug.
You'll hear people who will equate it to heroin, which is basically your OxyContin. Your Percocet, your Vicodin. That's actually that family, and that's highly addictive. Yep. And they'll throw everyone knows a stoner. Everyone knows someone who imbibes way too much and shouldn't. There you go.
Yeah.
Alcoholics, stoners, caffeine, you name it, right?
Operative word, moderation.
Yeah. Drinks too much soda.
Yeah.
Anyway, but still, you know, it's like those are types of things that could help people.
Yeah.
So I think that's all kind of up in the air, and I am happy that states are doing that because they're starting to call BS on the feds and basically saying, you know, and so we'll see. I'm interested to see where this like class action and all that go with the prescription opiates, and then these where this all started, these high profile suicides of folks on these medications, and
that to me that would occur to me too when we talk about Chris Cornell and now Chester Bennington. Those are the famous ones, but how many other go unsung and untalked about? That just the everyday people that have been affected by the antidepressants and the mixture of different stuff. I mean, if these guys are making the news, how many thousands upon thousands just go unremarked on every day?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. And it's tough too because you're trying to treat a problem.
Sure.
But I think from my standpoint, over medication, maybe pull it back a little bit.
It is tough.
I'm just saying. Yeah, it's tough. But the thing is where someone's like taking a medication, like for example, to treat depression, but then the side effect is suicidal. That's hard to wrap your head around because that's ultimately what you're trying to prevent.
Right.
You know? So
and some people within their chemical makeup, it actually does the exact opposite of what it's designed to do.
And we are not denigrating the scientists and researchers because I'll tell you what, if you read the science pages, and not the stuff that's put out by because you can tell the pharma companies too, they quote fake news, right? The ones that you'll see these. One day we will point some of these things out, articles that are kind of ghost written by corporate. Hey, it's found that this and the weird like diet research and stuff that you're like, what? It's all there's some agenda there.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. If you really read the science page, there's some crazy stuff that scientists and researchers are doing now with medicine and our bodies and genetics and stuff like that. One of them is CRISPR, but we can't go into that right now. That's some crazy stuff. And so there's a lot of things there, a lot of treatments. We want to get to I want to get to the point with the Star Trek where it's like you're laying there on the table dying and they just get out the little toy and put it on your head and the LEDs blink and it's like there you go.
Right. Or in that one I think it was the one with the whales in it where they're going through the hospital and Bones hands this elderly lady a pill, and she's like, and he's walking out again. She goes, Doc, I grew another kidney.
Exactly. Like, I mean, we all want to get there, right?
Right.
And we can, but it's a tough problem. It's a tough problem. I just preach. Use your common sense. Go in the middle. The less kind of pills you're putting in and the preservative-laden things in your body, the better off you're going to be.
Yeah,
I agree. Be better.
Right, I agree.
And even the supplement people, because there's always what skeeves me out about the supplements, right? Is you go to the supplement, right? Because I do take vitamins.
Sure.
I've been taking vitamins. And I believe they help.
Sure.
And some people don't. I do. But what skeeves me out of the supplements? You go to the supplements and you get like the I'm running every day and so you get the powders and the creatine and stuff. It can't be all so good for you there, folks.
Right.
So hey, come on.
Right.
Watch it all.
You gotta, and especially when we talk about mental health and the chemicals in the brain, it is a sticky wicket, and while I think mental health issues need to be more spotlighted, I think it's underplayed a lot. On the other hand, we really got to figure out a lot of what these chemicals do, because each person's chemical, especially in the tricky thing like the brain, each person's chemical makeup is different.
Well, and here's the problem with that. Is yes, the chemicals, but that's the answer. Here, take a pill, go away. We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to put it out there. We're not going to put it in our health care plan.
Right.
How about if you just put that in there?
Yeah.
And I'm a huge advocate for mental health treatment, mental health care.
Yep.
Your crime rates and things like that will go down. You'll be surprised if you actually invest money into that. But that's a whole another story for another time of where that money goes.
Right.
AKA the prison system.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Oh man.
Just go watch.
Over.
Folks, just go watch the documentary 13.
Wow.
If you want to know about it, just watch documentary 13.
Yeah, with
or
that
13th. I don't know.
Anyway, I'm trying to think of something nice to say at the end, but moderation. Try to do your best to kind of balance. Question everything.
Ooh.
There's one thing that you should learn from Coffee with Curmudgeons.
Yes.
Question everything.
That's right.
When you put pants on in the morning, question that.
Yeah.
Should I be putting pants on in the morning, or should I be like Robert Mueller and maybe no pants? Because that's how he's going to get fired. I'm telling you.
How he's going to roll.
You heard it here first, folks.
That's right.
Prediction.
I
feel like John McLaughlin. Prediction around the room. Mueller wears no pants and is fired by Rosenstein. What say you, Eleanor Clift?
I think next.
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
Right.
Well, let's go. Oh, man, we're going.
Let's put this baby to bed, man. Yeah.
Okay. Final thoughts. Jeezy, you got anything for the weekend? Anything good? Give us something good. Any games? Anything?
No, I was gonna say. I don't mean to ruin this Feel Good Friday or this Fury Friday, but my fish is dying.
Oh no!
Yeah.
What type of fish?
It's a betta fish.
Oh no!
Yeah, they do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I woke up this morning, she was on her back and stuff, but I moved the glass bowl there, and she was still floating, hardly.
Yeah.
So
those betas, they. Yeah. Okay.
So I don't mean to kill the mood, but.
Well, we'll
you spike
love and light, thoughts
spike
and
the
prayers.
Vibe, man.
Yeah.
Right? So we're sending our thoughts and prayers, our love and light to the fish.
Right. What's the fish's name?
Eustace.
See, there's a name right there, Eustace. Gotcha.
Well, good luck. I mean, sometimes I had a goldfish like that, and it would just one morning flip on the side and it's like, oh, it's time. And the dang thing lived like 8 or 9. I mean, it was just like, what the heck? It would just like float on its side and go. It was my goldfish was the Sanford of fishes. I'm coming,
Elizabeth, the big one.
It's the big one. Yeah, the fish would be on the side and it'd be like, yeah, come on.
And then this hops back over. Aha, psych, fooled you. Oh man.
So I don't know.
It's supposed to be warm this weekend too.
Yeah, it's been some weird weather. Yeah. The allergies have been harsh.
It's been so cray.
All right, well, Jay-Z, we
cray.
Hopefully,
as the kids say.
Yeah. Hopefully the fish is okay and all that, but do something fun.
Yeah.
Try to hang in there.
You're young. Get out there and mingle.
Yeah. Jason?
Yeah. So, boy, this weekend, let's see. What am I going to do?
Barbecue weather, probably.
Probably do some grill therapy. After that, this whole weekend is just a weekend to lay low.
Lay low. I like it, too. Yeah. Yeah, me too. All right, everybody. So, have fun. So many sounds.
It's like, what's going on over in Jay-Z's corner, man?
Yeah, it's like a sound a moment. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. Sean Spicer will be out on the sailboat, and for an extended stay. So
spicy. Time to update your resume.
See you later, everybody.